pause it, and then hit the button down on the
Yes.
top.
Trustee Miller to lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
Please, please, please.
Should have started the meeting.
Then he took up with this.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is that on pause?
No, I started it.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. We'll start with our approval of minutes from the regular meeting held December 16th, 2024, and the special joint meeting held January 9th, 2025. Take a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Taking a second.
Second by trustee Miller. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Carried. Monthly reports from the sanitation department, Caldwell Sewer District Rec Center, Fire Department report, Director of Planning and Zoning, Superintendent of Public Works, Historians report, Director of Events and Financial reports. Any of these will be made available to anyone in the general public free of charge. And it brings us to the eager awaited moment. Andy, our architect from AJA, Architecture and Planning, has the proposal, the initial proposal of the bandstand replacement
Do
project.
you have a way you want me to, where you want me to stand up so everybody can kind of see? Maybe right over there.
Yeah, I think over there would be best. That way, we'll give the public a chance to walk over and take a look.
And rough time frame for me?
Oh, 5 minutes. No, no, 15, fine.
Project, you like it?
Yep.
All right, so I'll try to go through this pretty quickly. Just, I don't know how many people in the room know exactly where we started and where we're at, but we're at the end of, we're probably about 50% of the way through the design work. We started July, basically, with the concept plan, and then got submitted to the DRI. And then we got on board with a team of engineers and estimators to get us about halfway through the design. We got our initial estimate in, and you know, we're in pretty good shape there. So I'm gonna just run through the basics of the project with everybody. And then we can go through any questions that might come out. So the idea is there's gonna be a new amphitheater roughly in the footprint of the existing amphitheater. In addition to building a new amphitheater structure, we are proposing a few things on the site that include. I guess there's my camera. We're going to be restoring the historic sort of stone seating area that you can kind of see in the middle back there. We're going to be restoring the dance floor area in front of that. We're also going to be enlarging the driveway area that accesses the main stage to provide for a little bit more sort of access and loading, unloading to the stage area itself for the performers. Adjacent to that, we're looking at a little area of stabilized lawn. So that's going to be a grass paved area, but it's going to be able to withstand trucks and cars that can park on it during a performance so that they're not all stacked up kind of in view of the performing area. We've been able to work into the project, which I think is fantastic on the part of the village, a new playground area. So that whole playground structure that's in that zone will also be all brand new. And then I think for the first time, we're gonna have ADA access from the boardwalk that will lead you up to the seating area. It doesn't give full ADA access from, say, the street in downtown village to the boardwalk. But you can have ADA access to the boardwalk down by the visitor center and come all the way to here and now get up to these, to the seating area, all in ADA accessible walkways, which is another great thing. And then I think the one major change to the actual amphitheater is that it's for the first time gonna have a full basement. So that'll give a lot of needed space to that. Some of these items that I just talked about on the site, the finer details, maybe I'll just kind of show this for the people who are in the stands too.
Yeah, thank you.
That's what it all looks like. Some of the things that I just talked about on the site are incorporating in the seating, we talked about restoring the stone walls that are there. We really think it's important to keep those from a historic perspective and cost. But the grass in between, we're gonna be replacing that with a natural turf, so it holds up much more to the wear and tear that takes on, so you're not basically just sitting in dirt. We just did a project up at Word of Life that introduced the same thing, and it worked out really, really well. The playground area that I talked about, we're looking at a natural timbers sort of approach to that, so something really in keeping with our commitment to the environment up here. Yeah, and that's just all pictures of that. Okay. So those are some of the things going on the project site itself. The building, we went through a lot of planning. The Mayor put together a really good committee of people who we've been working with that come from all facets of people who've been involved with everything that it takes to make a great show go on there. And so a couple of things that came out of their wish list was we really need a green room, which is a place where artists can go between shows to just kind of have their own private space. There is nothing like that right now. I would say the storage in the existing amphitheater was probably about maybe a quarter of what it actually needed, so we've been able to integrate more of that. And the project then also includes really enhanced lighting and show set capabilities and audiovisual capabilities. The idea is that all of these improvements will not only make that a much better facility for the people who perform there all the time right now, so will also let the village draw in even bigger and better shows and more shows, more frequency. So having the basement was a big component of that. We've been able to provide for artist spaces down in the basement, mainly in this southern zone. And then in the northern zone is going to be kind of DPW space to allow them to have some space to take care of the park a little bit better. So this is all happening below ground. The artist spaces here and then DPW space on that side. This is accessible now from the boardwalk by truck, so you can actually drive in underneath here on that side. Now, getting up to the fun part, which is the stage level. Stage itself is maybe 20% larger, both in width and in depth from the existing stage, well, the stage that was there. We've probably tripled this amount of storage that's available off of stage. And then we have a lift that works from the upper stage level to the basement level to facilitate moving like instruments and all, tables and chairs and all sorts of stuff up and down, so we don't have to go outside. The shape of the stage is really designed in a traditional amphitheater format where the walls are flared to the side to really let the music and the performance, the sound from that really just echo right out through the performers. And then I think the most interesting thing about this project is we not only had to design for audiences in the park, but we also had to be careful to consider that, there's people who watch shows there for the rates. So this old stage is designed that the back wall can open up and it can be open on both sides, similar to how it was before the addition was put on, the one that just burnt down. So it really has a lot of functionality. That also will allow us in inclement weather to use this space where maybe, we're trying to look for 3.5 season use out of that, maybe putting some radiant heat in the ceiling there so we can temper those colder fall days, get some use out of it. I'll show this to the back. So this is the main stage area. These are your green rooms over here. This is a technical room. You look at that large storage area. This wall is the lakeside wall. It opens up like a big glass wall, tilts out. So if you're having a boat, you can still hear the jazz show going on. It's gonna be really fantastic. We were really careful. We spent a lot of time talking about what should this thing look like. I'm going to show this to the audience a little bit first. These are all variations of different types of amphitheaters that you can see in public parks. This guy's up in Tupper Lake down here. This guy's over in Vermont somewhere. I'm not really sure where this guy is, but we kind of liked it. And this was the original concept that was done with the DRI package. So for your group, this is up in Lake Placid. This one's up in Vermont. Another one, and that was the original DRI concept. And I've done a lot of design work all over the country. I think the thing that makes this really unique is not just the performance that goes on there and not just sitting in Shepherd's Park, which is one of the like most quaint places to sit in. You'd never know it's in the middle of the busiest village. It's really the view and sitting there and like being able to see the quality of shows that go on, but seeing like the view beyond is what makes this thing completely unique in the entire country. I've been all over the country at types of places like this, and there literally is nothing like this. So we worked really hard to evaluate different roof configurations that would minimize the structure taking away from the view. And so we kind of leaned toward, you know, this sort of what I would call like the, it's kind of like a lean-to design, right? That would sit out here in this space. We felt that was really appropriate. And as we did our research looking around, you know, a lot of other amphitheaters take on that design. The original concept that I did had a steel structure. I was really hoping to get away from that because like George, we need to build out of wood and timber as much as we can, really feel that way. It's really hard to get 60-foot span to get out of timber. So we've kind of looked at that a couple different ways. And we started doing some preliminary modeling of different shapes that this could take on. We did a lot of viewshed studies that Ray can attest to sitting through patiently while we went on and on about. And, you know, we came up with a design that's kind of an integrated design. It utilizes a main timber structure that then holds up a steel truss. That's very typical of what we see in theater places. You know, steel truss to make that span work. And we started like playing with the design of these timbers that they might, you know, evoke a little bit of like a tree to support it. So we felt that that was pretty successful. And as we started to really, you know, design that a little bit more, you know, and put some wood to it and really work to minimize the impact of the steel and how that works. You know, we came up with this design and you can see almost in this view, which is an actual, you know, photorealistic view. It really doesn't take up much view of the lake beyond. You really start to see right through this. And so we're feeling really happy about this right now. The acoustics in this pavilion are going to be outstanding. I can attest to that. You know, you studied all the angles. The pavilion that you had really required amplification to make everything work all the time, but this could work for acoustic music. Most people in the crowd would be able to hear just straight up acoustic performance. We're excited about that component of it as well. So, yeah, that's kind of it. Schedule wise, I did put a schedule, I believe, in your packet.
Yeah.
Our next step is to start putting together actual construction documents. Our goal would be for the next 2 months to get those done. Work on getting a bid package out here in early spring so that the village could award an actual construction contract in, say, July. The reason that that's important is we're not going to start construction until after the summer season. Is we want to order all this steel and all this glulam and all this timber frame in the summer so that when we break ground, you know, right after the busy summer season, that material is there and waiting, and we can get this thing, put the village in the best place possible to have this thing open and running for next summer cycle, 100% complete. So it's kind of an important timeline to try to hit that, which seems a little bit out of sequence. We may be technically under construction this summer, but nothing will happen on the site in terms of contracts. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
I have a question.
Sure.
You mentioned upgrades and repairs to the seating area.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed it, but is there an upgrade to the lighting in there? Is there a
Yes,
lighting
actually,
upgrade?
I'm really glad you mentioned that because there's two things I didn't talk about with respect to the seating. Not only are we going to improve what's there, but we're also going to add more.
Oops.
We're just going to bail on that, correct? So we're actually adding more seating in this area here. So that as you come down this main sidewalk that takes you from the street, you'll always notice to the left or to the north, there's a grass hill there. It's pretty steep, but it sets up perfectly to maybe, I would say, maybe 50% more seating at that upper tier. And then yes, the plan that's in our budget right now is to add lighting at all the stairs. And then to do lighting and some audio visual towers spread throughout the seating area to increase and make safety better, increase Wi-Fi connectivity, and just make the overall show better feeling. So you're not always just relying on speakers right from
So,
the venue.
some low level lighting.
Yeah.
Instead of those, so just
The
one
spotlight.
large tower up there.
Yeah, the load out light that's there. Yeah.
That's a bug.
Yeah, that's gonna go away, and there'll be some lighting there, and the lighting that we're looking at would not only let you just turn it on and off, but you could establish moods, it could be color changing, you know, I think you could actually program that in to make some pretty interesting things happen.
What's the overall seating
Seating,
wise, or occupancy that you think we could have on there?
I don't know if we ever took an actual number, I think we ran some numbers when Jazz Fest came through, and they said 2,500 people.
Yeah.
So
So-
there's not seats for 2,500 people, because we rely on people, you know, spreading out through the whole park. I guess if I had to guess in terms of seats inside of the Stone Rings area, it's probably 500 or so. Depending on how closely you sit.
Some people will sit on the stone, some people will sit in a chair in front of the stone. so-
Yeah, it's a mix of usage.
Right.
And then other people will just sit over in this grassy area
Yeah.
and kind of just hang out.
Yeah, I would say in terms of like, we're probably increasing the actual seating in the Stone area by 20%.
Is there any funds budgeted to repair the stone at street level? Because that's needs some
Yeah,
attention.
not in this project, right?
It may be, John, because I could get to the funding later, but I'd rather talk to just the village board about that.
Okay,
But yes,
it should be, because then you're. then
You're
you've
not-
got
why
apples
fix
and
up-
Oranges, you know?
why fix up one part when you're not gonna fix up the
Right.
other? You and I have been on the same page with
Right,
that.
that would
for
stick out like a
years.
sore thumb now.
Yeah.
right? I've done a lot of stonework on that, but.
I mean, it's like-
Oh, well. Oh, okay.
This might be a silly question. Just the artificial turf. I don't know much about artificial turf, but say someone like spills something, is there gonna be like an ability for it to drain down? So it's not just sitting there?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
it's not like, you know, the stuff of old where you kind of, yeah, no.
yeah, okay,
This stuff works really well. It's a little bit of a higher upgrade than what you would normally see in like a athletic facility.
okay,
So we're just at the beginning of talking to the different manufacturers of all that stuff. I want it to be as natural as possible.
okay,
So when you're there, it should kind of take you a little bit to figure out if it's real or is it not real,
okay.
you know, but
Yeah.
also be super training. The other part of the project too, that I didn't mention is, you know, we are doing new stormwater measures in and around this project. So these landscape areas that are between the amphitheater and the beach, these are stormwater retention areas to take care of any runoff coming from here and treat all that stuff, make sure we're in good shape, so. And the dance floor is being redone with new pavers that are porous, so that we'll probably have some stormwater treatment under there too.
And the rest of the general public who didn't make it tonight, seems like you're all here. On January 30th at the Carriage House, there will be, this same presentation, but on a larger scale to the public. With light refreshments.
Yeah.
Now, do you think, do you want to leave maybe everybody hasn't gotten a good look at it? Do you want to set the boards up around
Yeah.
anywhere in the lobby over there? Because we got some more work to do if anybody wants to assist them. Keith, can you give me a hand? Find a spot to put those in the little vestibule over there so people can see.
Spread 'em out.
Because we gotta talk contract as well, so.
He's got it.
Well, he seems to have. Yeah. Any thoughts?
Looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Hope I live long enough to see it.
Me too, me too. So we have, his contract as well to approve. Obviously, we've, done the preliminary
Yeah,
work.
some of the work's already been done and paid for that were approved at previous board meetings.
And that would be included in the total fee. Now, that also includes project management, and you know, in the past, we've hired a clerk of the works. That would be included in this as well. We wouldn't have to have another third-party employee. so. And they're gonna help us with fundraising assistance should we need it. As well as is the Arts Project and various other groups. So unless there's further discussion, I'll take a motion to approve the contract with AJA to complete the design and supervise the construction from until completion.
I'll make that motion.
Okay,
Go ahead.
made by Jose, seconded by trustee John Root. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Mayor votes aye. Carries. Thank you, Andy. We are gonna skip number 4. Dan's kids are both sick. One's got a flu and the other just got sent home from school, so he couldn't be here to
This will move to
present the
next.
next amp. Yeah, we have some materials if you want to look through it, but I'm just relying heavily on Dan to speak to what he's been dealing with next amp on our behalf for. So we'll go into resolutions. Resolution number 1. 2025, the rate for, we follow the federal government as far as reimbursement per mile, it's 70 cents a mile. We'd just like to adopt that. I'll take a motion to approve that.
So move.
Made and seconded. Thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Mayor votes aye. Number 2 and 3, I would like to take together because they go hand in hand. This is approving the administration of the grant for Shepherd Park by Beth Gillis of the Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning Board at a cost of $5,000. And Swazo Doty and Associates, the RFP that we sent out, we're the only ones that responded to an award for the Shepherd Park Stormwater Reduction Project design at a cost of $70,000, and the grant we received was $75,000. So no out-of-pocket monies from us. The entire design was covered by the WQIP grant, which has no match, so it's 100% funded. I'll take a motion to approve those 2.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by trustee Filomeno. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Mayor votes aye. And the adoption of 2 safety policies. Want to give us the cliff notes on those, Jules,
Hold on, let me get to it.
or Tim?
Or Tim would probably be the better one.
Safety Officer Tim.
Right, yeah, 50 policies. First one's aerodynamics. Office chairs. The other one's work zone safety. Don't have a work zone safety plan. If not, in that plan, there's a lot of good guidance on how to set up work zones. And particular, things that we do in the village, like those things. I work with legal risk management.
Seems like there'd be a lot of training involved with this. Are we supposed to be up to this point, or is there gonna be a lot of training involved with it?
Yeah,
Are you gonna,
it'd be up to the department heads.
Take a motion to approve that the village board approves the following safety policies effective immediately.
Make that motion.
Motion by trustee Miller. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Master Domenico. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Mayor votes aye. Carries. The PenFlex LoSAP program originally went for 40 years.
Oh, that's the
Oh,
next
this
one.
is different?
That's the next one. This one is just the certification of all the volunteers
Oh.
and having them on the program.
Okay. Well, isn't that later on? When is that?
This is the first one.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's the same thing we do every year.
All right, take a motion to approve the members of Penflex.
So moved.
Second,
In second.
seconded by trustee Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Vote carries. Okay, Johnson Controls. Wastewater treatment plant alarm system monitoring renewal. Did this go up, down, remain unchanged?
It's unchanged from last year. What they're looking to do is have it auto renew. Rather than every year. Obviously, with an auto renew, just like any contract, you still have the right to cancel.
And they'll let us know if it jumps,
Right.
you know, dramatically.
Mhm.
Okay.
If it auto renews, how much time, like, how much time do we have to cancel? Is it
Um,
like 30 days, is it? Oh, you missed your auto
Or-
cancel window. What is
Yeah.
that? Yeah, what is that?
I don't know, did you look at that part of it, Jim? Did you look at that part of it? Do you know what the cancellation?
No, I didn't. Really had no option. We originally put that system in during that thing. We looked at, we required signal, monitor it, because they do everything else in the zone. But it's proprietary. That's it.
Okay,
So they-
so it is what it is.
Yeah,
Unless
and
you
the
want to
other,
change
the
it
other
all.
company that we use, we can't use to do this.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd have to change the controls.
I'll
Talk
make-
about a racket.
I
All
can
right,
make that motion.
all right. Motion to approve the Johnson Controls alarm monitoring renewal. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Now, the LoSAP, Julie.
Yes, now this is.
So LoSAP used to go for a maximum of 40 years of service, and on the not super rare, but rarer occasions, we have two members currently that have been in service for longer than 40 years. It's kind of a push with longevity and length of service in the fire department to go to 50 years. And I don't really need a resolution. We drove a resolution that kind of mandated that this would be put on the village ballot for this upcoming election in March. So we'll be like on the other side. People would vote. And there's really-
Penflex is
Penflex.
requesting that we do a resolution, so.
So I'll do the resolution, even though they're mandating it. I'll take a motion to approve the resolution
Put it on.
to put it on the ballot of the March 18th election.
So moved.
So moved by trustee Root. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Master Domenico. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. ASCAP annual license renewal. This is our music, the right to play music, the right to have music that has been recorded and played by other people is a license required by ASCAP as well as many other, but this one kind of pools everyone into one thing. It's $445 a year. And we do it every year. I'll take a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
It's motion by trustee Joe. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. UniFirst contract renewal. I think we discussed this with a few people and their prices have actually gone down. And a few people that we did discuss it to said, good luck getting someone else to bid on. So seeing that their prices are very reasonable. This is for our uniformed men and women that work for the village.
Yeah, I was surprised by the prices.
Yeah.
Pretty affordable, right?
Yeah, it was.
I want to get my clothes from them.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Oh, it is a 1-year renewal,
It's a 5-year.
5-year.
It's a 5-year contract and that's how we always do it. It's always a 5-year term.
Okay. So I'll take a motion to approve that.
I make the motion.
Motion by trustee Philomeno. Is there a second?
Second.
Trustee Miller seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Milton Cat maintenance contract. Tim, this is for yours, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's for generator service at the treatment plant. This is the first time it was in my budget. With the upgrade, the electricians were required to pay for the first 2 years of the service.
Okay.
inspection. So now it's on.
First 2 years were free, huh?
Yes.
All right.
Not pretty paid for it.
Well, we paid, yeah, we paid somehow, I'm
Built
sure.
into the warranty, yeah.
Yeah. I'll take a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by trustee Root. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Master Domenico. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, say nay. Mayor votes aye. Number 11 is to appoint Kieran Murray as vice chair of the Village Zoning Board. He was an alternate until he became a full-fledged member, and it was requested by the chairman to make him vice chair. So he is accepted graciously. And I'll take a motion to approve that.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by trustee Root. Is there a second?
And second.
Seconded by trustee Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Mayor votes aye. Carries. Permission to place the 2011 F-250 flatbed pickup into surplus status. Thing still rolling?
Yeah, well,
In theory, it runs.
yeah, we can get it onto a trailer if need be.
Well, that's good. Yep, I'll take a motion for that.
I'll make that.
Motion by trustee Jose, seconded by trustee Root. All those, no, Joe?
Me.
Okay. Trustee Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Opposed, say nay. Mayor votes aye, carries. That's that. Where are we now? Okay. Award the beer and wine request for proposal. Did we get more than one for this one? I think we did, but they weren't beer and wine. It was
Yes.
something else.
It was just-
Springbrook.
Yeah, and I don't think we want a hard liquor at I mean, they might, I don't want people carrying a bottle around the park, and I imagine they would pick it up when they leave, but I think we're pretty good going with,
Well, not to mention they were the highest.
and they were the higher bidder, and Common Roots has been working out pretty good.
Moonshine.
Yeah, I don't know about Moonshine in Shepherd Park.
There's moon, but no, too much shine. I'll make a motion to approve that bid.
Okay, motion by trustee Root to approve Common Roots as the beer and wine vendor for Shepherd Park. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Master Domenico. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. And then we got the food vendor RFP. The,
Three.
may
Yeah.
want to discuss, I've heard some grumbling, so let's talk about it. We don't have to, approve the highest bidder. We had 3 others come in.
Mhm.
One is a taco truck, and then it's Taco the Town, that's clever.
Mhm.
And then another was,
Yeah, so the William Jansen is Tice Taqueria.
Mhm.
Tommy Festa
Tommy
is the clever cleaver.
Clever
They
Cleaver.
both came in at $12.50. So. And Vince with Bombas came in at $1,600.
Mhm.
what's the pleasure of the board?
Is there
Well, I would say that Deb and A did a very nice job putting together this application. At our guidance, we asked her to put something more specifics in it.
Mhm.
And she lays it right out there. If you don't include a photo, then it wouldn't even be considered by the board. And Bombas didn't include a photo,
Oh,
that I didn't get a photo.
I know, I've seen it, I don't know, I didn't look at that aspect of it, but it does say it.
Yes, in fact, even on her form, it says, photo of food wagon included, yes or no. She didn't circle either one.
Gotcha, I see what you're saying.
But it was, as far as I can tell, it's a no.
I think, if the other two are the same price. We have 2 people, right? 2 in the village that sell tacos. Like a brick and
2.
mortar, we already have 2.
Yeah.
And so then the Clever Cleaver is what, is like hamburgers. They said they keep them in,
Smash burgers,
they'll
pretzel
change the
bites.
menu, it sounded like.
Mhm.
I feel like we would wanna do as much different as we could from what our brick and mortar restaurants are doing. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's
What
not
would you guys
really
do?
nice to
I
open a
agree.
taco place in front of a taco place, across the street
Yeah,
from a taco
so
place.
smash
you know?
burgers, pretzel bites, queso, pulled
Pulled
pork,
pork.
motor waffles, chicken sandwiches, sweet Thai fried shrimp, parking lot,
I am
calamari.
so hungry.
I don't know what that is.
Would we say that's the most different? I mean, you're right in that area, so do you feel that?
I agree. We have a Lurid area and, two next to them,
Mhm.
so cooking. Yeah, I think this is variety wise, smash burgers, pretzel bites. Yeah, something for everyone. We make a point to say we're very fast.
Well, yeah, just want them to be reliable. That's the most important thing.
I do appreciate the taco stand though, putting in all the pictures of all their food.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put in extra pictures that they didn't need to.
And it's something we wouldn't consider two of them, two different trucks. Has
I
one
know,
truck been able
That's a
to?
whole,
That maybe for a festival, one weekend
Yeah.
festival, when there's gonna be larger amounts of people than there are for Fridays at the lake.
well, we would have to go back to the drawing board as far as the RFP goes,
Right.
because it would then become,
They would
We
have to
want
share
two
it,
vendors.
wouldn't
Right.
like that.
It may not be worthwhile for two trucks for them to be splitting with
Mhm.
that much going
Yeah.
on. You know, the Clever Cleaver doesn't list beverages I didn't see there, so. I would assume he has non-alcoholic water.
You wouldn't be able to serve alcohol.
like-
No, but he's saying it does, it's not
But
on the
I'm
menu,
just-
but he's
I
assuming
go-
that he has.
I go
something.
back to the reliability question, you know, I don't want it to be someone that doesn't show up, you know, I mean, we've had this in the past with other food trucks, and the one thing I could say with Vincent is he does show up every time. I don't know these people. I've never had eaten their food nor tried their so
Should
someone
we
makes a motion and the
maybe,
board votes on it.
Postpone it another month and then maybe look into
You could try to find.
other
Maybe.
places where they might have been and reach out to those organizations.
If you're good with that, I'm good with that.
Do a background check.
We've got some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We have another meeting
And
in
it's always
2
about
weeks
running,
I
anyway.
think we might have our regular on the 10th and
Yeah.
a special on the 10th, or no, a regular on
The town.
yeah,
Well,
well,
10th is normally when it is, but we don't want to space it too close, because if we wait a longer period of time, things aren't gonna get paid. So I think I'm gonna do a special on the 10th and the regular on the
Okay, later in the month.
14th or 24th.
so is that a motion to table?
Yes. Is that a motion to table?
Yes.
Yep.
motion to table.
Seconded by
I
somebody.
second that, yes. Is Vince allowed to resubmit or do we run with what we have?
Yeah,
here?
yeah, I
That's
suppose
what
he
we
wants to
declare
commit a
because-
photo.
I would imagine.
I want to be fair to Vince also.
He's on.
Yeah, since it's not, we're not voting on it right now, so.
Here?
He's on.
Oh, he's on Zoom.
Okay, so.
All right, table. So snowmobile and ATV use. We have our updated map. We are going to, I spoke with the folks from the Winter Carnival. They are going to get signs that we could put out to kind of corral the ATVs that we do allow, to keep them in the allowed streets, based on our map that came out several years ago. And also we were discussing, it lays it out in the resolution. We also discussed, a safety lane closure for the weekends for Beach Road, if there was not ice. I don't know if the ice is gonna be thick enough for four-wheelers. Maybe it is now. I haven't been out there. I will not go out there yet. Due to safety, but, so I think we should probably still consider that. I know, John, you had spoken favorably about it. Just keep them off the sidewalks.
Well, initially, when we talked about, when I saw they were paying fees, it caught my attention
Mhm.
on Cannon Street, but after I had some time to think about it, I've always been of the mindset that we are looking the other way on laws because, it's good for business. And I look at it, I don't like to, change the laws and risk pedestrian safety, because they do go on the sidewalk. And no matter what streets you lay out, they're gonna go in places that they weren't supposed to be. So I still would stick with my long held beliefs that
Longstanding
that we
tradition.
should, yeah, tradition of saying that I don't see why we should have ATVs driving on our streets, our sidewalks, in our park. They are all-terrain vehicles, so they can go anywhere. And they do, so.
Okay. I will, in the vein of that discussion, we've always approved this. I will take a motion to approve unless there's further discussion, or there could be discussion after the motion.
These are all license plated out.
Have to be
correct?
plated,
The
yeah,
registered in your state.
and licensed
insured.
drivers.
They have, so these are registered to drive on streets?
They have to be licensed, no, not to drive on streets.
No, so they're not-
If there are streets, we can let them if we want
Right.
to. But they have to be registered with the state that they either live in or they come from. Or New York State.
So let me ask you this, if there's an incident with an ATV and a pedestrian, who is liable?
Likely the ATV.
Okay. Likely.
Well, it depends where the incident occurred. Let's get through the vote, Linda. You can speak.
I just wanna know what we're voting on. Are we voting on closing part of the road?
Well, that
The
would be
ATV?
included in the beach road, but in the motion is just the map, lays out the maps, the map of what we've done consistently every year.
Okay. Just not on the back streets,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, it's all only from Ottawa to Ottawa and then Ottawa
What
over.
is the map? Because the map has been different almost every year.
No, I have the same
Have you a
map.
copy of that map?
I have the same map every year.
You do?
Yeah.
Can you share it?
Yeah, I'll just resend the email I sent you last year. But yes,
Do you see where we are, Allison?
Okay, yeah. I'm not gonna do it.
it's,
I don't have a map, but maybe.
no, you don't have a map.
I don't, yeah, so
It's,
just in that area.
you should have it, right?
Yeah, it's on there.
just missing that.
Yeah, the map that we had before actually did have a sidewalk on that, so. yeah.
Correct on that.
No, we don't want, we've changed our stance on that.
That's-
Yeah, I mean, we want them on the ice. We really don't want them on the streets. I'd rather them be on the ice.
Well,
Yeah,
see,
we're in Carnival.
Yes,
Yeah.
safe ice.
which-
We don't know that.
We're not-
Right now, at this point, we don't know if it's safe
Going
ice.
to the firehouse. Oh, this
We
is,
want
it, so
them
they're
safe
ending at
also.
the
Yes.
firehouse.
Information.
No, I get what you're saying. Okay, so they're ending at the firehouse.
Yes,
Okay.
Right, so there's no roads to go through the back streets.
not supposed to. And we're gonna put some signage to include that because obviously not everybody reads maps. Maybe they read signs. Not everybody reads signs, but it's an attempt.
I look at pictures.
Mhm.
But I think they do a poker run.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And some of those pickup spots where those things, they're outside the allowed.
Right, and we're working on that
Yeah.
with the organizers of the poker run. Actually, Linda's here. She will put them wherever we want, she said.
Yeah, because they were on Lake Avenue, and which is.
I know,
yeah,
right? They're
so-
not supposed to go up Route 9
Right,
and,
yeah.
no, we're tightening that up. So,
That's why I wanted to kind of like, I mean, before you voted, I thought maybe there should be some discussion about like it before you voted. I mean, has there been a problem? I mean, you know how long we've been doing this? I mean, Bob Blaze is the one that actually did this,
Mhm.
and it was about 20 years ago, because we didn't have any ice or snow, or snowmobilers. So he opened it up to ATVs, because that's what was able to access. Because we were having, numbers were so low for Winter Carnival, because nothing could happen. So when he opened this up for ATVs started coming up.
Mhm.
And then he wanted them to be accessed from their restaurant or from their motels, so they can come down into the village, come out on the ice, go to restaurants, go to other places in the village from their motels. That was the purpose of it. I thought that was the purpose of Winter Carnival, was to bring business in. But, and back then, they were on the sidewalk because they didn't want them on the road. And that's fine not to have them. There's so many of them now that, yeah, they shouldn't be on the sidewalk. But they gotta, I mean, if you're not gonna allow them more than just a square route of from Amherst Street down to McGillis, from what they've previously been able to do, you're just gonna get a lot of people that are upset about it, and then they're not gonna come. I mean, people are not gonna try, you know how many people have already called and have access and signed up for these poker runs. I don't think, I mean, I've got fire department here. Have we had any calls with anybody getting hit by an ATV during Winter Carnival for the last 20 years?
I can't remember anything yet.
I mean, we're very cautious. They sign a waiver. I go out, I'm patrolling them. I mean, I've been running it since we started. I'm watching them and I give a copy to the sheriffs and no, they are not, to tell you the truth, John, I do put them as far as I can put them away and be safe at the same time. I put them up here in the Lake George Visions. There's nobody up here. There's no traffic up here. I put a bucket of chips up here, yes. And I spoke to the mayor about that and he's okayed it. This mayor and the previous mayor. I try to give them an event. I don't, if they're gonna just go in a square and go to bars, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give them something to do. Something to come up here, because sometimes it's the only event that's going on, a motorized event. And they do, and like I said, there's been, knock on wood, not that I know of, has there been any accidents or any problems with anybody as far as being injured on a four-wheeler or a pedestrian getting hit by a four-wheeler? I mean, maybe I'm not aware of any, but I mean, I have not had any. I just don't know what the problem is. What is the problem?
It's against the law.
No,
It's against vehicles.
It's not-
No, she just wants to let them come up here to the parking lot to get a.
Well, the mayors can vote
So
that
it is
way, but I
expanding a
prefer
little
not.
bit, but if
But
you're not
you can do
participating in the
that.
poker
I
run,
haven't
it's
done
That's why
coming up.
there's a
It's
vote,
not
but
every
that's
Friday.
what I'm just giving you my input. I want you people to understand the input and there's not been a problem. There's not been an accident, so I don't know why there's more. You're trying to even make it even smaller. Why do you want to put them
This is
You know,
exactly what we
in
approved
a
last year.
more harm's way?
Yeah, this is
I
what,
didn't want them on the sidewalk.
what you had
No.
before you is what,
I'm
exactly what we
asking for
approved
that
last year.
bigger street, but you know what? If I can go up Birchen Avenue to the end of the dead end, why not? Who's it hurting? Those people know. I'm in contact with them. I tell John Eisenhart and John from the group up by his townhouses, I put a bucket up there. I try to go as long as I can make it. I try to put one over on Lake Avenue. They're not going on the lake. They're not hurting anybody. They're not on the road. They're not endangering anybody. But yeah, I go over to the VFW or the American Legion. I apologize. Those people didn't like it over there either on that side street, but yes, that's the safest part for them. I'm not gonna put them on Route 9. No, I'm not. That's dangerous. But that's why I'm saying, why is there such a problem now? As long as we're all on the same page and we keep everybody safe, not just pedestrians, we want pedestrians safe, but we want the people that are coming up, spending money safe also. That's not illegal if he says it's okay. If you guys vote to let them on certain village streets, they can cross Route 9. They can go down Beach Road. I don't know why if someone was hurt, I could understand it, believe me. But I do everything I can. I mean, we've got the waivers here from Winter Carnival that, you know, they sign, they have rules and regulations on the maps, where they can go, where they can't go. But you have people that do come up that aren't in the ATV Pokemon, and they'll come up and now that we have ice, we're gonna have more ATVs up here because there's no snow. And there's no snowmobilers. They're gonna be up here in ATVs and side-by-sides. And they're gonna go, but they need to know where they can go. Last year, there was a little bit of the last 2 years, actually. 2 years ago, the map showed the sidewalk on there. It shouldn't have been on there, but it was, and that was something that, I don't know what happened, but, so people were more on the sidewalk. But without the snow, you're gonna get a lot of ATVers, a lot of side-by-sides, especially now that you have ice. Now that we have ice. But that's just my thought, my concerns. If there's a concern of yours that I can do that you think that is, would better it, then tell me. I have no problem with those, but that's why I go out to the spots because I don't want to broadcast it on the regular map. But people that are coming up with the ATV poker run, I'm letting them know, okay, you know what, this is where it goes. And as long as you're not doing stuff stupid, and I usually get the sheriff's department a copy of the map also. They know, so they know where. But as long as they're not being stupid and reckless, they have not gotten problems from anybody. And I haven't heard of any problems happening. So that, I'm trying to keep it safe and keep it, an event for everybody and an event to bring people up.
I will take a motion to approve.
I'm ready to make a motion. Len, I just want to ask a straightforward question. So your waivers, are there waivers of liability
Here,
identified?
there's a copy right here for all of us. Yep.
For like George Winter Carnival?
I'm sure on our
Insurance.
You want a copy of these? These are what they sign.
May I?
Yeah.
Do you mind?
Yep.
And I apologize for the time, but it's serious and we want to make sure that we're giving you all the credit and also.
These are last year's.
And I didn't speak myself as the co-chair of the carnival because I didn't realize that.
Excellent.
Our topic at this point, although it is related, probably should be closer to the agenda.
I don't
on
need
the
it.
topic.
I believe you.
So for a position would be approving and probably want to make sure we're all on board with where they're going. So just to save multiple votes here, it might be best to just.
I do want to show you what I did last year. This is what I did last year, but this is a copy of some maps that, we do tell them, they have to do certain things, So it's not like we just throw them out there, but if they don't have any kind of direction, like if we don't show them a map, they're going wherever what they think they can go.
Right.
And that's where a lot of the confusion is coming from, because they don't know where they can go. They think sometimes they go right down Candace Street, and I'm like, oh my God, you can't.
Well, I imagine one or two of them do.
They do.
In the map that I showed, I don't know this map.
Let's get going. We guys still got a lot of meeting left.
Alright,
Is that a motion by trustee
I'll
Filomeno?
make a motion to approve the poker run, or pardon me, the snowmobile ATV use.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Master Domenico. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Mayor votes aye, carries. Rescinding resolution 274 of 2024, where I thought I had to break a tie, and I have that printed out from the New York State website. I could not because it directly involved me. I apologize, and we will rescind that resolution. I'll take a motion to rescind.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Filomeno. All those in
Before we
favor?
have a vote, can I ask a question? We just received this
Mhm.
information from our attorney,
Mhm.
which I haven't had a chance to read it.
You can't
Okay,
talk
we
about
can't
that.
talk about it.
I know I'm not gonna talk about it, but
Mhm.
I think this may weigh into this decision.
It,
Before, or I don't know, I haven't read
it
it.
shouldn't. It doesn't. It actually says
Then you've had
exactly
it.
that we're supposed to do this.
It's dated January 14th and
Well,
27th. And
Couldn't email it.
I could have come up and picked it up, but I didn't read. Anyway, I don't know. I'll just have to trust you and say that based on this information, we're doing the right thing here, but I haven't had a chance to look at this.
Yeah, should we go into an executive session?
You read it?
All right, we're here, so yeah, that's what, I guess we can talk about it, but yeah, resending, we're doing number 16, right?
Yes.
Yes,
So I have a motion and a second.
Pardon me?
I can second,
Okay.
or someone second.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Joe and
just-
Jose.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Number 17, in speaking in regards to the special events, director of special events position, I don't think it is necessary. It was not necessary before I took office. I don't believe it's necessary now, and I don't think we need the position, and I did check, I can vote on this to abolish the director of special events position. That was previously funded by the county, town, and the village. I'll take a motion to approve that.
Well, are we discussing?
We can discuss it after we get a motion. Before we vote.
Well, if we're abolishing it, what are we,
It would be assumed, there's two ways to do it.
what are we replacing with, or we're not
It's just the
replacing?
assumption that's it's the mayor's duties as it was for the 52 years prior to me. And we can also talk about that in executive session, but we can't take any action. It's not a necessary position. I'm not looking for any compensation for it. So it's not needed. It did not take 65. It does not take 65% of the time. It does not take 50. It barely takes 40. We have Debonair upstairs who has come up to speed quite rapidly, does a good portion of the work. And she knows our processes, and it was Denise before her that said she did most of it. So
And any work that is done is usually off the book time anyway. It's after hours, it's on the weekends when the office isn't open and so.
So you're saying that number 11, on the agenda, the proposed executive session, is that when we will discuss what's the next?
Yeah, we could discuss
Step
moving
forward.
forward for that, but,
I think I'm confused because I do remember when we were doing the study, the dissolution study, wasn't it written in the dissolution study that Mayor Glaze had said over 50% of his time was spent on special events?
so now this is where I'd like to not talk about this. I guess we'll pull that because I have a few statements that I can only say to the village board. And I'm not gonna say in the public, so I'll wait till the executive session to discuss that. So I'll wait and we can take that up after the executive session.
Okay.
So
Move on to 17, handbook edition on training. Allison's suggestion of a monetary amount.
Mhm.
Julie did some research and where'd you find it here?
What are we talking about? I'm lost.
The
The
monastery,
CDL,
how long? you
driver's
spend
license and
time,
water and
Oh.
wastewater licenses.
Yeah, basically what we did is we had every month, department head meeting.
Yeah.
And this, with combined information from the different departments, we came up with what we suggest. That if it earns somebody a CDL license, or it gives them a water license, or, operator, wastewater operator license, something to the effect where you're earning a certificate, something that can be used basically to go on and further or go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things that we would want them to sign off and say, you know what, if we're gonna pay out $1,000 or whatever the amount is, we would like for you to agree that you're gonna stay with us for a couple of years and use your license here with us. So that's basically where we came in and we said, not necessarily, I don't want to set it at a dollar amount because there's certain things that, like, for instance, I go to every year NICOM training, which is a yearly thing, and it's just to learn and keep up with what's going on every year that's new.
Yeah.
But I'm not it's not gonna further me for anybody else.
How do we budget for that? How do we budget for continuing ed? Do we have a line in our budget?
Well,
Most of the
that
time, the
yeah.
department heads will know that they have somebody in mind that they want to put through a training class
Okay.
and they
Yeah.
put a certain amount of budget. We put.
I put in
For our
$4,000 a year for mine because I might have different people going to different things throughout the office.
Okay, so your
So-
department's
Right,
$4,000 a
and
year.
they do the same thing. I know that Tim puts it in his budget. I know that, DPW does the same. If they know they're gonna be looking for a CDL driver.
Okay.
Something like that. Everybody kind of has that in the back of their head. We're gonna wanna put something in there for training. But yeah, as far as what we're looking for, to have somebody sign off on a waiver, that they would agree to stay with us and put this in the handbook. That's kind of what they were looking at, rather than setting a dollar amount, because the dollar amounts change every year too.
Sure.
And depending on how we get it done, for instance, the CDL licenses that we just got, Warren County actually paid for.
Right.
So you don't necessarily want to set a dollar amount because like that didn't cost us anything, but we still want those people because we facilitated and helped them get that license. We would like them to stay here and use that.
Which would
license
entitle
here.
them to get more money somewhere else.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's just a way to help.
we're paying them to get trained.
We
so
want that, yeah, we want
reimbursement
we
of
want
that
to,
time.
we want to benefit from what we're helping them get trained on.
I think that's fair, saying if they're getting an extra license. Then that's where they would have to, are we saying 2 years? thought
I think I put on here 2 years. That's up to you guys. If you think that it should be less than that or more than that, that's your decision. This is a suggestion that we came up with as a group.
That the CDL license, isn't that that's pretty expensive, no?
Well, even here, if you go from a non-CDL to a CDL, it's a $2 an hour raise.
Yeah, but if we were to if we pay for a CDL, isn't that like $5,000, $6,000, $8,000?
Well, no, the ones that we're getting right now, generally around $1,000, $1,600, depending on which one they get.
So it's a lower CDL.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
It's not the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a-
we're not
it's
setting
not a
up
really
money.
large
Not a
Yeah,
tractor
so-
trailer,
Right.
Yeah.
it's just a regular CDL to
Mhm.
operate one of the big trucks and tractors of that. Heavy
Yeah.
equipment.
I think that's fair if we're using taxpayer dollars for someone to get another license, that they need to stay with this municipality for 2 years.
So that's a motion to approve.
Motion to approve it.
And I'll take a second. Second by trustee Root. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. No votes aye. Carried. Special events, facilities use applications, Winter Carnival and Parade. Nancy and Jessica, you're up. Thank you for the packet. It is very informative. Covers a lot.
Devin, I did.
No,
Well, Devin highlighted it, but Jessica.
but they provided it to us.
Yes. And there's a lot of activities
There's a
going
lot
on.
of activities and I don't think we need to take them individually. I just want to get a good feel and approve the Winter Carnival as we have always done for, well, before me, but 60 years.
So they're approving the carnival and the parade,
Yes.
and they're waiving the fees on, they want to waive the fees on the parade.
The fees on the parade, they do have their own volunteers, so it doesn't take as much manpower from the village as it has in the past.
And then
So,
there's fees on the rec center too.
what's at the rec center?
That's their, yeah.
It's they're doing sledding and something else, I think.
Yeah, I don't think we have a fee established for sledding at the rec center. We have a fee established for like the fields.
The soccer field they were using, I think.
Yeah,
Probably not, because I guess if you could go up there and sled for free,
yeah,
right, with your kids.
used to
If
happen
there's snow.
if there's snow. That's a nice picture.
We obviously are here to answer any questions. Help facilitate this. And as a formal introduction, just for some of you that don't know me, my name is Jessica Dara and I'm one of the co-chairs.
And I'm Nancy Nichols, the other co-chair.
What can we answer for you?
So the questions were, you're looking to waive the fees on the
The
parade?
parade and Shepherd Park usage, which
I think the biggest thing was we weren't sure that we were confused whether it was a parade every weekend.
there's two parades,
No,
just
Okay.
two. One of
That
the
was a big confusion was, okay.
first weekend and last.
so we have never, ever paid for a fee. That was part of our deal with, we never went for bed tax from the village.
Right,
Oh.
that's why you go to the county for the bed tax. And I completely
Yeah,
understand.
no, well, that's,
And I've been involved for 40
Yeah,
years and we
yeah.
never paid a
Nope.
Just for clarification, this year's applications, Nancy and I did complete the difference, highlighting it just to kind of stand out what's different from the past years. Two things. One was we were adding a parade the last weekend because we added a weekend this year to the event. So we're doing March 1st and 2nd. We've always historically just done the 4 weekends of the
Right.
Winter Carnival in February. And then the other ask was the rec area, because as Winter Carnival, as a person that has grown up here in the village, that rec area used to be used a lot more. And our mission is to try to encourage people to access and sled there. And I would love to see more happening up there. So our vision was to get people up there and maybe down the road, and this is a different conversation for a different time, but having Winter Carnival get involved with the village, we want to rope tow. We want to just create that, that area to be used. It's a beautiful piece of property that's not getting used. So we talked about a soapbox derby. We're being creative. As Linda spoke earlier, the ATVs have become more of a necessity to our community because of the economic impact. When we don't have ice, we don't get the draw. We work very hard. We still have people, we have our diehards, as we call them. They'll come, they'll support the businesses. But without that revenue, our businesses cannot sustain the 365 initiative that we're trying to do. Our businesses depend heavily on that economic impact. Now, I absolutely agree for people that live in the back streets. It's a safety concern. It's a nuisance. It is. Just like in the summertime, it's a nuisance when we have people that have been at the bars and they park in the back streets. But it's a tourism industry that we're in and we're trying to promote and just get as much as we can to our community. So with that, the same thing with our events that we keep adding, we're trying to just get a draw and just try to get people from all over in every aspect of our events that we're doing. So targeting this year, trying to use more of our property here in the village and the town, right? And I know that, that at first we thought it was the town, and then I obviously learned more doing a summer softball tournament that it was, a joint with the rec. I learned about that process. So I think it's important that people understand the Lake George Winter Carnival is a Warren County event. So therefore, we don't just stay in the village, we're trying to spread out. But we like to start in the village and expand. So that's the reason for the ask of the rec center. As far as which dates, we as a committee need to work on that today. We need to talk actively about that because we have to advertise for these events. We want them to be successful. And if we don't get enough advertising out there and it's something new.
Or
so
snow.
it's a new event. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I don't think it's gonna happen this first weekend, but we would like to see sledding up there every weekend and like really promote it. It's already open for sledding. But when you create an event, right, it's about experiences, and that's what people are looking for these days, experiences. And so that's what we're trying to do. The other ask was the parade to be that last weekend. We thought it would be a nice combination of, we always started our event with a parade and we want to end on a parade. People like parades. It's just a thing here. It's just about, you know, going up and down Canada Street. It sounds like a lot, right? I mean, and it is a lot, but we have some.
We have Peter with us. Peter is putting on our parade with Harold Holiday.
Yes, so we brought them on board this year. They were gracious enough to come on board to help us with this process, but with that ask in the permit was that, we needed the road closures. You know, we need the barricades put up for the parade. Historically, we haven't had a problem with the exception of last year. Barricades were not put up where they were supposed to be, and it was dangerous. You had people coming down Canada Street with cars, and you have people running out, and then you have cars. You know, you have a parade in full session. You can't have people accessing Canada Street. That's why we asked for the road closures there. And I think I was wrong, because I said that there were 2 asks, but there were 3 asks that were different, and it comes back to your conversation regarding the snowmobile and the ATV, the road closure on Beach Road. The reason I put that in there was because every year our event grows, and it really has grown the past few years substantially. Also has grown in numbers, as Linda spoke of, with our ATVs. When you start to get that amount of people on ATVs, UTVs, it does become a safety concern if they're on sidewalks. So if we're proactive about it and we're putting the preventative measures in place, that's why I asked for the road closure of Beach Road. And it was merely to create a safe travel, right? So we can have our children, our families on the sidewalk not being nervous, and we have people going where they should be going. The map in the past does not show it that way. The map has them on the sidewalk.
Right.
That's not safe. So I'm just trying to be safe, preventing issues, which we have not had, just as Linda has said. And that's what we're trying to do. Obviously with the ice, yes, it helps a lot, but we cannot guarantee that people are going to use the ice. Because even when the ice is there, there's just some people that don't feel safe going on the ice. And not everybody, and to clarify too, and we had our own conversation amongst our meetings, like Linda asked us too, thinking that we were referencing that just the poker run be on that. That is not anything to do with our poker run request. The request is having to do with safety for the whole time that the Winter Carnival is in place.
And we have never had, any insurance problems with a claim, and we want to keep it that way.
It's really about safety.
Mhm.
On that part. So that's what the road closure ask was for. And then as far as waiving the fees, we're trying to just do this event as we always have. I am gonna say, and I appreciate all of you, and I know it's hard work that you all do, and I know there's a process, and I know there's an application and a permit. But we're all really close to our event. So to be here today, 5 days before our event kicks off, I'm gonna say it's a little cumbersome on us and our time. Many of our members here that are here today took time off from work just so we could be here at 4:30 to be at this meeting. I really would like to see this in the future happen earlier for us. Because we're all volunteers and it takes a lot to, you know, and especially with planning, we're marketing these events. We historically have put a map in our book, but this is the second year we couldn't put a map in our book because the map wasn't approved. So again, if we can try to work on this together in the future and earlier on, because I believe our permit was put in November,
November.
so it would just be better for all. of
And we
us.
had one meeting in November, which,
It wasn't submitted
It
in time for
wasn't.
the November.
right, but I'm saying that we had one meeting in November. So, I mean, it's
So we got it.
We're all for having it earlier. Earlier the
Right.
better for you to set up, and we're always waiting for, you know, we know it's coming.
Yep.
And it's always 2 weeks before, usually.
We don't want that.
No, we would love to see, so if there's any questions, we're not prolonging it to the next one, which is right after, and that was one of the things was the lane closures, and those are things we had questions, and we couldn't sit there and say yes or no, because we had no idea what you were looking for. Because there's no one here to ask.
Right, I believe the breakdown on that unfortunately was we did have meetings with the mayor and we did discuss it. And I think Devin A was just not clear on the application, but we had meetings with the mayor
Right.
discussing all of the application prior to submitting it. So we made sure that our verbiage on there was per our conversation at our meeting.
So, the question I have, any activities you plan up at the rec, or you just want to sit there and say,
Sledding.
sledding, what,
Like
just,
a soapbox derby, a
Oh, okay.
carnival kind of thing. We're trying to get, again, with that, we wanted to get some sponsors and have, you know, we want to kind of take it to the next level.
Right.
Have, like Lowe's and Home Depot or Curtis Lumber, you know, they're all competing. Those types of things, hardware boxes,
Yeah,
yeah,
just-
family fun.
we have talked years and years ago about, you know, whether or not, I know I had asked, our supervisor at the time, you know, is there any way to make it snow for the hill?
Yeah.
Is there any way of, I'd love to see that hill be utilized like Dynamite Hill is in Chestertown to
exactly our
total,
vision.
but, you know, it's, again, it's, if that ever came about, you know, one, it's the cost, and one, it's the setup, and it's everything that runs with it, but
But it's
Um,
definitely. a
it was
necessity.
just, but our biggest thing was getting water to make water. They said it was snow. It was almost impossible because we don't have a hydrant up there and it's a
Yeah.
pressure line.
It
But-
turns out we have a big enough line.
No, I know
Um,
that, but that was what was
Gene-
said in the cast, so trust me,
Gene just
me and the
came to me
mayor,
last week with it. That there's a 2-inch line and then there's power capable of utilizing the snow gun.
so I mean, we've
So
talked
it's-
about it, me
could
and the
be in the
mayor
works.
mentioned it.
That's-
So we're definitely, you know, that's something, you know, again, that the village is trying to really gather up. And I know it's probably too late this year, but now that with the rink that's available, you know, me and the mayor talked about trying to get a hold of someone or maybe in the future, because your plans are, you know, broom ball with the rink or something like that when it's set up or,
Right.
you know, like I said, we're really looking to try to no snow kind of activities, sort of,
Right,
kind of, so.
creating Events that are not ice dependent. That's
Right.
our new motto too. We're not an ice dependent event and the ice is a bonus.
So,
Any
because I
type
remember
of-
that one
Yeah.
year, we had snow they were making snow to put in the Wood Park, and they were going somewhere else to do snowmobile races in Hudson Falls or something like that. That one year, that
Over at
was,
Warren County
that was
Airport.
crazy, yeah. I remember that year too, so, yeah.
Definitely Warren
Okay, I'll
County
take a motion to approve the Winter Carnival's application
Waiting, please.
and waiving the fees.
I can make that motion. I
Okay.
like your vision. It's-
Motion by
Thank you.
trustee
It's
Miller.
very
Is there a
nice.
second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Master Domenico. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
This includes the road closures on
Yes.
So nay for me then.
Okay, mayor votes aye, carries. Shepherd Park, Lake George.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome, thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm trying to
luck.
get this one finished too, so
You wanna do them?
Yes,
If we can do them.
Yeah, I got
I'll
all
do
the
it.
events.
I'll be down Saturday. What's that?
Ask if they wanna do it as a group.
Do you want to do the arts project as 2-for-1 motion? It's Jazz at the Lake and the summer concert series.
Did we include waiving the fees in that last vote?
Yeah, we did. Same for Jazz and Lake George Arts Project Summer Concert Series. Motion to approve and waive the fees like we do every year.
I'll make that motion
Motion by trustee Joe.
for both of them.
second- For both, yep.
Second for both.
Seconded by trustee Filomeno. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye, carries.
Let's go, abstain from that vote. Come on,
Yeah, no, I never did when I was on
all
there.
right.
No, you're okay. Especially since it's not a monetary cost or. Adirondack Wine and Food Festival, the application is before you. Any questions or concerns with that?
It's the same every year.
Same every year.
Make a motion to approve that?
Motion noted. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by
As well.
trustee Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Same for Estra. Is there a motion to approve Estra? unchanged from last year, same time frame.
I can approve it.
Okay,
Or make a motion. I can't approve it.
well, you can make a motion to approve and
Second.
Don can second it, and we're off and running. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Wild in the Trees, we approved this one. And they were asking for us to waive the fees. They did reduce it to 1 day from 2 days. It's a pretty low impact event. There is nothing else going on in the park that day, but it wouldn't interfere if there was.
Did he receive occupancy?
He
tax?
did.
He did.
So,
And I think I specifically remember, didn't Warren County say we don't have the ability to waive fees of anything in Wood Park? Remember we did that at some point?
Do for a not-for-profit. And if you would like, at the
But aren't
next,
they supposed to waive it, not us?
well, at the next, I can say our recommendation, and then at the next Park O and M meeting that Keith and I go to, we'll bring it up to say, the village board is okay with waiving the fees, would you like to? And then it's ultimately up to that committee.
Mhm.
I would say since you got occupancy tax money to get occupancy tax money and waive the fees,
Yeah.
It's a charitable event.
It's tough.
how much, do you know how much we awarded him?
3,500. I
And
believe
what are
that's
the
what you
fees?
500, midweek and then 1,500.
For 1 day?
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's $500. He's getting 30.
no, I think it's 1,500 if it's on a weekend. Does it say it in the ad?
It should be total somewhere in here.
For
Multiple.
nonprofits only, Monday to Friday only,
15.
750, Monday to Friday only is 500.
I'm just looking at the
It's $1,500.
1,500. We just didn't address we didn't answer it with the last resolution.
All ticket sales and proceeds go to charity. Is there any way to waive the fees? We just didn't talk about it when Frank was here.
And the ticket to $20. Charge of the tickets, I guess.
He's saying all ticket sales. So basically everything he makes
Yeah, he makes no money doing
would be
this.
going to charity.
Was $3,500 in occupancy tax money.
Well, he has to advertise for it and pay a band. They don't play for free.
So our vote here, to say we approve or disapprove.
We already approved it.
We
We just want
approved
to
it. I mean,
approve
but
to
for the
waive the
money.
fees if the county decides to waive the fees. I'll take a motion to approve
I
this
make a
request.
motion, we approve the fee,
Thank you.
deny the
Second,
fees.
I'll second this.
seconded by trustee Philomeno. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
Nay.
Mayor votes aye, carries. Off tax request tabled from last meeting. Kelly's Angels, request of 8,000, I think that's what they requested last year. I was thinking about this and do we want to say maybe approve 6?
I say, I think last year, I'm not
might have been
100%,
10
I think it
last year.
was 5 is what they asked last year. If you say past year is 5,000 is what he's got in there. So last year he asked for 5, this year they're asking for 8.
I don't feel the same way about this one. If all ticket sales and all proceeds were going to charity or something of that nature, then I would say I would give them occupancy tax and all of that, but. I mean, they're making money off of it and it's been multiple years that they've gotten occupancy tax, hasn't it been?
It has,
Yeah.
but I don't think they're making money. It's a not-for-profit.
It's not what that means though.
I understand, but it's not like, I can see Ronald McDonald, there is a CEO of the charity that has a salary, yes. That's how that works with not, you have to pay some people to do things. And this one is a smaller scale.
Money, but I think it's-
They are in their budget, they show $11,000 from the town joint, so. Another 8 would bring them up to, I read that right, they're already getting $11,000 from the.
Well,
town.
that's requested, it doesn't, I don't know that we haven't
I
gone
don't
and done
think
anything
they got
this
it.
year.
They didn't get it.
They don't say they haven't had any meetings yet, so I don't think.
So it's
anything's-
unknown.
Their request.
Right.
It's the traditional meant for so many years.
And
I
that's
really-
I think,
And over that. And
I
so
think that's
I'd like-
expected attendance,
I'd
5,000.
like to see the money
Where?
go maybe something new, right? If we're trying to,
Expected
like,
attendant past
Oh.
years is 5,000.
Oh, okay.
I thought they asked for 10 last year.
I don't wanna keep giving it to the same thing every year. I wanna give it to something
Without
new,
having
try
the
maybe
records
start
in front of me, I
something,
don't know
see
for
if
certain.
that works.
There's a lot of discussion I have for this. I'll meet with the other community and have a conversation about this. So we can keep moving, because this is
Mhm.
on the number of it.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
reduce it to 6 and
I'd like
move
to-
on from there.
Yeah, I don't know if they're ready for a vote on there yet, on there. I just wanna hold your up on it.
We got time, not much, but we have time. I'm tired of tabling things that should just be voted on. Just because you have your sticking point, it's a charity. They're a charity event. They give $1,000 scholarships to our students. I mean, I've said it, I can't say it enough.
No, we could still make the motion if they decide, no, we're gonna make a motion on what we're gonna give them, then we make a motion, they decide they don't wanna give it, they decide they don't wanna give it. And that's, we could talk about it, and you're gonna say yes, I'm gonna say yes, Allison's maybe on the fence, yes or no. John is no. I
That's
mean,
how
it's-
democracy works.
I understand it, but I'm just saying that, so we just make the motion and.
Well-
And I'll make the motion that we award them 6,000.
Okay, is there a
And-
second?
Can I say something real quick? Not, I don't want to stretch this any longer.
You can say second.
I,
Well, he's allowed to talk.
well, I was saying,
He
the
is.
last gift number was $5,000, or that.
I don't
No,
know.
that
We
was
don't
the
know for certain.
attendance.
Okay,
That wasn't the money.
I don't
thought it
have the
was 10
paperwork in front
in
of me.
my
so I can't
memory, but
tell
I
you.
could be off.
it's the last big one. How much money do we have left over
We haven't even started.
to give?
We've
our
only
cruise
given
ships
out
yet?
3,500 for this coming season.
What do we have left on there?
300,000?
Oh, for events or for this year?
Yeah.
Alright, that makes it a lot easier. Alright.
I won't discuss.
Okay.
Oh, discuss. Go ahead, weigh in if
I
you
would
like.
just like, this is why I think that we need some sort of guidelines, so we're not always, don't have a set. So we don't have to have all this discussion each time. We would just say, okay, they've been doing this for 3 years, they've got this much.
Right.
I don't
It-
believe
it's-
in that. I'm not in that vein of those events. They constantly are gonna need help.
So that's that's.
But he's giving away all this money, he doesn't need help,
We can afford to give away all this money because of our help.
because we're giving it to him. So why did we decide, why did we decide to give it to him and not to somebody else? It's hard to make that decision each time.
My understanding of occupancy tax is that it's meant to stimulate economic development and growth. And so to me, it makes sense that there's a set number of years that you receive it. And then we should be using it to create more economic development. So if there's another event or someone else in the wings who really would like that money, I would like to save it for something different. And then you're expanding.
But where are they? These
What?
people show up and fill out an application and tell us when they're coming. They show us results of the last event and they show us that what they're doing with that money. They are putting heads in beds. If they keep coming back and we can help them to be successful, everybody benefits. I'm just saying, this is a constant
Well-
conversation that the use of OCTAX is a broad brushstroke and you're either on board or not. That theory of limiting the amount of years that somebody gets something as a startup, it doesn't hold water.
Unless we build a pond to put it in, but I mean, there's no guidelines, it's all it's all on the fly year after year.
No, there's
And it
guidelines.
doesn't have to all go to events, that's how we pay SEO to clean our restrooms with occupancy tax. It doesn't have to go to events.
Then it doesn't. 90,000 went to SEO last year.
Yeah, there's other things.
That's
we
a
can-
lot of money
There's a lot of other things that need to be done in the village.
that you can't do with occupancy tax. 'Cause it's not,
There's there's a lot of things you can do, I think. Like, for instance, I think that the visitor center needs a major upgrade. It's antiquated and it doesn't really do what it should do. And instead of throwing $3 million at a light show that went flop, it could have been gone.
that
into
wasn't
the-
us that did that. That was the Warren County.
I know, I'm
Coalition.
just saying that somebody should take a look at where the money's going and trying to prop up all these winter events with occupancy tax money. When I think we should, and I've talked to you about this, so we should focus on the 3 seasons of the year that we're really good at. I'm not all I'm not all bought into the 365 mentality, but anyway.
Well, it's
I'll-
hard
Let's put
for
it to a vote.
the
and-
businesses, and Jose can attest to it, to be 3 seasons and keep staff and not lose staff and retrain staff every year.
I
That
understand.
happens
them.
in the hotel industry as well as the restaurant industry and the retail industry, all the
I
3.
had a motel for 15 years, but you know what? I closed in the off season and I went to Florida, and a lot of these people do. So I don't think it's fair to those people that are, I don't think,
Jesus
I don't think it's fair to the people that aren't open during the winter for us to invest so much money in winter. Because they contribute to occupancy tax, but they're not getting a fair representation back from what they put in, and that's my opinion, so.
It's not going to change, I understand. I have a motion and a second for $6,000 reward.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Joe
Okay.
made the
Oh,
motion, Jose seconded
Oh,
it.
did he
I
second
second
it?
at $6,000.
Yes,
Okay.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Is that aye?
aye,
Hmm,
Joe was wrong.
Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Well, I would just use that as an example.
Okay.
I wasn't using that
Mayor
for this
votes aye.
particular
How would you
thing.
do it?
Ronald McDonald House Charities, we're not gonna have another long discussion about this. You're either against it or for it. This is a lot less money.
How many years have they?
This would be 3.
Can I make a motion?
Um,
Chairs.
yes, you can.
I'll make a motion for $3,000.
Is there a second?
Second,
Seconded by trustee John. All those in favor, say aye.
aye,
Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Mayor votes aye. Okay, that part's over. Thank the Lord. Discussions. Caleb White is an aspiring comedian and would like to do a family
Stand up.
comedy night. Did you provide dates? I think you did, didn't you?
The board meeting?
July 20th at,
Yeah.
and I told him to come and present. He's not charging anything for this show. He's just kind of getting the feel of what it's to be like a comedian. What was that day again? It was the
July 20th.
July 20th. I don't know what that looks like because we don't have a year calendar down here.
Mhm.
Yeah, just,
Come on up.
yeah, I'm just looking to do like a kind of a free comedy event. Some selfish reasons, I want to get into producing shows, so this would be a good opportunity. We also don't have like a ton of stand-up, especially during summer here in Lake George, so it'd be a good opportunity for guests and families just to enjoy the show. And then I want the producing experience as well, and also the stage time. So that's kind of why we were looking at doing it. It'd be a free event, so I was potentially asking to have the $500 fee waived for the rental. As it'd be like, we'd be self-sponsoring the event, so I'd have to put money towards booking the comics, or like the headliner to come in. The headliners would be very seasoned professionals, very clean. I've got them kind of confirmed for the date already, was just looking to get it approved by the board. It'd be Vinnie Mark, if you're familiar with him, he's been around quite a bit. And then Dan Bruin would be as a feature act.
Tell us your best show.
I'm sorry, what was it? It was Vinnie what?
Any marks?
So I,
Him and his
so
wife,
he
Jody
was
Weiner.
ready to, pay, give Devin a check for the 500. I caught me, maybe we'd talk it over at the board level. It's kind of a new thing. We've never done it before. He's never done it before. I didn't know how you guys would feel about, letting him try it one time.
if nothing else, we could allocate $500 in occupancy.
We totally
tax
can.
money to cover the fee.
Yeah, you could fill out an occupancy tax form and that would cover the $500 fee.
So just so everybody's aware and you're aware that if that happens, you pay the fee, then you would be reimbursed after the event.
All you have to do is prove, well, basically show Julie that, you're
Yes.
paying her as you're paying her.
Where's this? gonna
That's a
be?
good compromise.
Yeah,
I
I'll
like
make a
it.
motion, we
Just for-
move right forward.
Tax. So you're gonna have to come and fill out an tax form as well.
That way everybody wins. Okay, moving on to.
Wait,
No,
wait, wait,
you're good.
Wait,
Wait,
what?
what?
Oh, we didn't vote?
Didn't vote.
I thought, shit, I
Big
got an
motion.
easy one. Motion,
Oh, yeah.
second by
I'll
anyone?
second it.
Seconded by trustee, Philomeno. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Okay, I have 2 patio requests. Brett Lang from Pablo's, mimic the same proposal as Nina's, but he's on level ground. Joe and I talked about this earlier. They just increased their fees. to 300 from, I think it was 125. And same for Kicking Country, who is here. Hey, guys, how you doing? All we've had in task is, as long as they have enough room that we can remove snow.
Mhm.
And they take care of the snow. And pay the extra fee, I'm fine with it.
Keith, so that doable, Keith?
Well, as long as they, clear the snow, but not clear it into the road.
Yeah.
Normal procedures, we have a number of, I wanna say
Patty Kirkpatrick, Giuseppe's,
and she's done a great job, and she has.
Vero.
Yeah, so I don't see a problem with it at this point, they have plenty of sidewalk, to, how, I didn't really see any increments or any, how wide or long it is.
It's what was approved for, and I think is yours still out, guys? Is your split rail fence still out?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's visible and we could fit a truck in front of it.
Yeah.
I think they only go as far as the old Wagers, right?
Yes.
The Moose Tooth, they only go out as far as that building, I think.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't see any difference. from what we've
yeah,
already
and
put
Pablo's
in
is the
there.
same thing, doesn't go past
Doesn't go past
that
the,
existing building that's there next to it.
right,
It's both wide, they're both wide enough.
they're both
Yeah.
plenty wide enough.
Oh, yeah, no.
Motion to approve by trustee Root, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Filomeno, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, thanks, guys. Billy Joe of it, we know him, well, he's retired. Basically forced retirement due to injury. He can't find 3 shirts.
3 shirts.
I think he went through a breakup too, so some things might have got lost when he was forced to move. Guy's in real dire straits. Universe wants to charge us $62.72. I want to waive the fee to Billy Joe just due to his lifelong service to the village of Lake George. Guy's in rough shape. And I feel badly, and if not, I'll pay for it. But if you want the village to waive it or me to pay you, because that's what's gonna happen.
Can we do that?
We can.
Okay.
Yeah, because he has no more, he has no more.
We can all pitch in if you want to. I mean, the poor guy is in this is a lot of money to him.
Yeah, I mean. Whatever, but I'd be willing to pitch in,
Okay.
whatever.
So whatever the pleasure of the board is.
Is it, Julie, is that a hassle for you to write this off?
Is it, no, we're gonna pay we owe it. We're.
We
as
would
the
know if
village,
he was working
We're
for
gonna
us
have
or
to do
not.
it, it's whether we can get reimbursed or not.
Can't get that.
Honestly, I don't, even if we charge him, I don't know that we'll ever see the money.
Right.
We have to pay it, we owe it.
Yeah.
We owe the
It's-
money with the,
It's
get it
us that
from
owes
Billy
it, not
Joe.
him, and we
Yeah.
could try to get the money from him, but whether we're gonna see it is,
I won't buy, it's not even worth, I don't wanna try to get the money from Billy,
Okay.
so either.
Then this
either-
is not even a motion or
No.
anything that we have to, it's just discussion, really.
Alright.
Ticket booth rental is up for renewal, the parasail rental thing that was so hotly contested for so many years. We ended up renting it to Quirks because I think the other parasail was
Yeah.
on either side of one of there's 2 parasail companies, and if you're familiar with this one.
Brothers were bidding against each other.
Brothers were bidding against each other. It ended up for $15,000 for a small little
Or
space,
closet.
a closet, basically.
bragging rights, I think.
For bragging rights,
No,
yeah.
cornering the market.
But that's up for renewal. Do we want to seek an RFP or just renew with Dennis?
I know that Parasail Joe and Kiki Tour reach out
Okay,
if for.
maybe we do an
I
RFP.
know. Sorry, I know they reached out. They're
No, they
looking
did,
for-
and I forgot about, well, I had talked to Joe, but I forgot about Greg, so. If Greg's interested, maybe Joe will be interested, maybe not, but, so do you think we just go for another RFP, send it out there and?
do you guys wanna place a minimum on the RFP?
Well, I was gonna
That's
say,
my
we
concern
were
is that
getting-
if we put it back out, that we don't get what we're currently getting. And
And that's
the
a foul
one
money
thing I can
revenue.
say,
15,000.
Yeah.
Danae wanted to make sure that you guys knew that
Well,
we're
that's what
very
I
on
thought.
time, very good with his payments, never had an issue as far as accounting goes, but like I said, I don't know if you put it out for an RFP where we're having them bid on how much, if you guys want to put a minimum on it.
Or we just leave it.
Let-
Or,
Yes.
or,
Let 'em run it
and like I
again.
said, we can just say it's a 5% or what are you, it's up to you guys, however you want to negotiate it. We can keep it how it is. We can go out for RFP. It's your prerogative.
Is it 1 year?
I think it's
Um,
2 year.
Well, the way that this one was done is we did it for one and then we did it as, where they could automatically, if they want to, it was up to them, but we said there would be an automatic increase. So this year would be one fee, but next year would be another additional.
And Dennis.
And he's
Monson
done
for this
that
year?
already?
We don't know.
He's
Well,
not
that's-
really involved. It's his son-in-law and his daughter.
Right.
we
So
don't know.
that's, we probably should just go for an RFP because we don't know
What
what
they
we're gonna
want,
get.
what they
Yeah.
want.
You might get 20 grand for it.
Yeah, you never know.
Well,
They might get 5.
you might get by, you're right.
But
Wait.
if it's not Dennis's decision anymore and it's,
Right,
you know,
Can we set a minimum? on
we
that?
can.
Yeah.
Based on what we've received in the past. Skipping that.
So what's the minimum?
set the minimum of what we're getting
What we're
now,
getting now.
Okay,
and then contract depending on what goes after that.
okay, and so I have permission to go out to bid.
You
Is that a
do.
motion?
Yeah. it's
I'll
a
make that motion.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. EGS Advanced Energy Systems, this guy approached me through, he is not like, the thing that Dan was gonna, pitch about today.
Mhm.
This guy is, they're an energy, broker that the town has one, we don't have one, but, they will go back and look at our utility bills for, I think it's 7 years. And look for mistakes, and they say they find them quite often, either overpayment or anything like that. Even our utility bill, our cell phone bill, gas, phone bills, they'll look back at all of that free of charge to us, whatever they find. They split with us. Doesn't cost us anything, and they are always.
50/50.
Yeah, 50/50. And they are always, looking for the best rate, so being that they're a broker, they'll find a better rate. They'll negotiate on our behalf for it, and that's how they make their money. I guess they can make a lot of money.
So
doing
they're
it.
different than the
They're
Constellation.
different than Constellation, yes.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna talk, I'll start talking to them and I'll get something put together for,
I'm sure they'll
Next time.
find something.
I'm sure they will, yeah.
They wouldn't do it if they weren't gonna make money.
Yeah.
All right, let's fire through these training requests. Microsoft Excel Level 1 and Level 2, March 18th and 20th, as well as April 8th and 10th. That is for Tim Shutt Jr. 145 and 145. I'll take them all in one. Niwa, Keith Lanfear, Chris Andrews, Chris Buckley, $90 each.
Actually found out today Keith will not be
Yeah, I'm
attending. He will
gonna-
not be in town.
That schedule doesn't work for me, so.
One less. All right, so $180. Saratoga County Planning and Zoning Conference, February 5th, Debonay Myers, Kevin Merry, Tom Sullivan, Carol, the whole planning board and zoning board of appeals, basically. Micro Valley, Patricia Dow and Dean Howland, $90 each. That is required training for them to continue to serve. I'll take a motion to approve those 3 training.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by trustee Joe. Is there a
I'll second
second? Seconded by trustee Root. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye.
I'd like to
So-
make one comment after the fact, if you don't mind, real quick.
Mhm.
I noticed in the training for the planning board, there's a class 10:30 to 12 o'clock. Know how to say no.
Know how to say no. That's a tough thing on a planning and zoning
I might
board.
teach that class.
Yeah. You'd be good at it.
Well played.
Well played, John. Well played.
Thank you for the laughter.
It's never serious. Or it's never personal.
Life threatening.
Yes. So next month's board meeting, I think I want to have 2. And I wanted to talk about potentially having. I've seen other villages have a workshop session, once a month. And then a village board meeting another time in the month, like. The most recent one I looked at was, the village of Voorheesville. They do and I'm not saying we change our days. Monday seems to work for everybody. I know it's your 2 guys' day off. But like, they do the first Tuesday and then the 3rd or 4th Monday or something, or Wednesday. And one is a workshop where they can actually discuss some of the stuff that's coming up on the
Mhm.
agenda item without making any decisions. And then the following, maybe 2 weeks, maybe we do the first and third Monday.
I think that'd be healthy.
I think it would be
Because-
healthy because
we
we
don't-
get to these meetings and we're stepping on ourselves trying to,
Because there's a lot of exchanging ideas and thoughts that we don't have time for.
Yeah. no, that's why it's, closing in on 6:10 and we're only up to number 10 and we still have
Yeah.
some discussion to have in private.
Okay, so my understanding then is the February 10th meeting,
Will
would
a-
be more of a workshop.
Mhm. We
But
can
there
just-
may be a few like bills that need to get paid
Yeah.
or something
Yeah,
to
you
that
can
effect, just
Sneak
small.
some timely things in
Yeah.
there.
Meeting is a meeting, we can.
And yeah, February 24th definitely works better for the as far as
The month.
the monthly audit. So the 10th is the special workshop
Oh,
and
wait,
The president.
the
And we could talk budget stuff too on the 10th.
24th is the regular meeting.
What's your time look like now? Should we-
No, I was just thinking, because I know the town boards meetings are always on the second Monday of the month, but
Well, this would be the first, right?
the
So
10th
for
is
the-
the second.
Oh, is it the
The
second
10th
this
is the
month?
But
second.
that's, I mean, that's fine, it's fine.
I just, well, because we're so close right now.
Yeah.
I thought we should have another, I thought we had another one underneath there.
No, well, no. I don't think so. Maybe we do. I
I
can't
thought I
tell.
brought it down. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's 2024.
No, yeah, it's 2024.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So that's good. I think it'll be
Okay.
productive. Would like to take a motion to
Okay.
go into executive session.
Did Jim have something?
Oh, yeah, Jim, did you have anything or are you just here to look pretty?
Did Dean or Glenda have
Yeah, did
anything
Dean or
to-
Glenda have anything before they left?
No.
Okay. Just looking for the sneak preview?
He has quite an issue with the truck,
You're
right?
approving things.
Right, repairing that truck and was that resolved?
No,
now?
that's resolved.
Okay.
So the only question is, depending on how long we're gonna have to wait for the truck, and we can discuss this, it doesn't really have to have a decision, is it needs tires. And do we put tires on it? Or do we not put tires? They're not in
Yes.
um,
No, I'm good.
compliance with safety standards. But at the same time, we're replacing the truck in as few as 7 months. What do we do?
Yeah. Just like going in the car. What do you do?
Yeah, do you get a car or do you get tires?
Can you-
But
What did Jim want to say?
what'd you have, Jim?
I heard you talk about some of the equipment.
Yeah, the tires we talked about the other day.
We hire a company to come in and inspect our stuff. to see
Come a little
how-
closer, please.
To inspect our stuff so that we are compliant with all the agencies that will have your fingers in something if something happens, so. There is nothing saying that this stuff has to be done. But if it isn't done, they'll say you're not following your own people that you're requesting to inspect this stuff.
Right.
Not only is that one of the items on there were several. I'd really like to get together with either just the representatives or during one of the workshop things.
Mhm.
To really understand where we're gonna go. I've been, I think, very frugal with what I've been doing, but we're nearing where there isn't any
Frugalness
funds
left.
available.
Right.
So, I'm sorry.
Frugalness left.
Mhm.
Well, it's, there's things you have to do and then you have to, we bought very little. Most of it was just with the, what we had prioritized,
Right.
The equipment for the PPE and stuff for the firefighters
Right.
and tools and then communications and, I am strayed far from those goals and here we are now, so.
Right.
I think we can talk about this if
Yeah.
you wanna get.
Yeah, you wanna come to
together
the meeting on the 10th? We can add it to the
Yeah, I think
agenda,
that's
you
a
can
good idea.
itemize a list of.
Everybody's on the fire board, so I think that's
Yeah,
a
we're
good
all
idea.
fire commissioners, so.
So the other item that's kind of time sensitive is we had a member with 17 years who had backed out, 2019, I think it was the last time he had done anything, and he requested to come aboard, and we, thought we could do it internally, but we had to go through the, application process, background checks. This just happened this weekend. You won't be, well, I didn't think you would be meeting again for another. What I'm here for to ask is if you could approve him under the caveats that he passes the background check and that the membership accepts him at that time. So,
Yeah, we'll bring that with the information with you, or get it into Julie, and we'll get it on for the tenth. Is the tenth too late, too long to wait?
I guess not, now that we know about that.
Okay.
The committee or whatever about, I heard you talking about water at the rec center.
Mhm.
That's a very important item to me,
Mhm.
just making sure we're moving along.
Right,
The last meeting.
Oh, we
Keith said he
talked
had-
about, yeah, using
about the water training up there.
Keith is here now for that hydrant down by the ball fields. They wanted to do some exercises.
And we need to get the full flow from the pond and not through the pump house and stuff there.
Okay, I don't think we've advanced any on that topic, not recently anyway. But we can revisit it, I guess. Probably not the most ideal time, with the weather conditions.
Oh, no, it doesn't, as long as we say we're going to do something come springtime, you mentioned you needed to investigate a little more.
Yeah, with the hydrants that are there, that we have there, and
I understand
I
that,
don't believe you're gonna get much more than what's already going through the pump station, but we can probably determine that too.
I'm not looking to go through the pump station, go around the pump station.
I
The full
understand.
size line,
Okay.
if,
We'll have
if possible.
Okay.
That the firehouse, we have the diesel particulate filters
Mhm.
that are in there. I don't think they've ever been, serviced or looked into. I kind of like to get that stuff under the cancer prevention.
Right, the recirculating filters.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how they work, whether it's a changeable item or a cleaning item.
Keith, do you know about that?
No, I do not.
All right. We will have to look into that. We'll find somebody that knows. I don't know anything about it, so I'm not gonna pretend I do.
Just trying to get it on
Yep,
the agenda
yep.
for everything that needs to be done.
Mhm.
And then, during the safety meeting that we had over at the town center to do with, traffic flow and those kind of things. One area that we have a lot of trouble during most of the summer is Amherst Street coming out onto Canada from the firehouse.
Mhm.
And what typically happens is when we have to have a response, that area is blocked up both ways and we're waiting. Either, the cars in our lane are buggered up by
Duck.
pedestrians, whatever, and we can't go in the other lane because there's traffic and parking on the other side.
Mhm.
We'd like to investigate, have the, village board or whoever investigate making one side, well, both sides would be great, but at least one side into a fire lane situation that would mirror Mohegan Street where Cafe Vero is.
Right. Instead of having cars parked, it is narrow there. You're right. And I'd rather not risk the safety for what, 5, 6 parking spots?
I think that's what's on the,
North side?
t-shirt side.
Yeah, t-shirt side, yeah. We could park a fire truck there in front of those windows.
Uh,
I mean, it's a smart thing to talk about.
It is.
Yeah.
So eliminating the parking on that
Yeah.
On the north side
It
there.
does,
of Amherst.
on the one side.
But I also understand this time of the year, if that was a, fire lane where there was no parking, that does inconvenience the restaurant and the bakery and stuff.
They were just
People
here.
that Would,
It's not a lot of spots. If it's 5, it's a lot, you know?
In front of the old hardware store.
No, in front of, no, not even there, in front of the breakfast spot and.
All the way down to the corner too, which.
Well, there's like a couple curb cuts. There's
Yep.
the Marriott curb
Marriott,
cut, the
right.
the Duffy's liquor store parking.
just
There's
remember
2 or 3 in front of that house, there,
Might be 2 or 3 in front of there,
the old hardware store.
the old hardware store.
Your competition.
Iroquois Street to Canada is what we were thinking would be best.
Okay, so we don't have to, we can
Okay.
keep those then. All right. Yeah, because it is a little wider there. And there is no parking at the very end of. So yeah, there'd be more paths. I see where you're talking. But we should all look at it, but I think
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because it does get, especially when you get people crossing against the light and
Nobody pays attention to those.
Could be seasonal too,
it could be.
right? Because in the off season, there's no, it could be seasonal possibly.
Perhaps.
Yeah, but that just makes it more confusing, maybe, I don't know.
I think we should probably just eliminate them.
But also when polar plunge happens, it gets pretty crowded.
It gets crowded through there, yeah.
It's really. crowded.
Everywhere. On the
All right,
first.
that's a good suggestion. I like it. We should all look at it and then talk to me again, and we'll have a decision for you.
If we have the time to talk on the 10th, I'd be very
Yep.
glad to do
Yeah,
that.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Definitely, Tim.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks,
Tim.
chief. Do you want to do water changes, transfers and audits
That's
before?
fine, however you wanna do it.
Keith
You're going
and-
to executive
Yeah, they're-
session now?
What's that?
You're going to executive.
We are
session?
gonna go into it. I've taken 2 last actions and then we're not gonna take any actions after.
We still have one that's pending, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, okay,
Thank you, chief.
thanks, chief.
Okay.
So water changes, transfers and audits, I'll take a motion for both of those in the same one.
I'll make that motion.
Allison, seconded by Joe. All those in
Seconded by
favor
me.
say aye.
Okay, hold on.
Right,
Yeah, well, she spoke first.
I know, second by Joe.
I think I got 4 ayes. The glasses, got 4 ayes.
Mhm.
Mayor votes aye. Carrots, all right. I would like someone to make, well, I'll make a motion that we go into. Thank you,
Thanks.
Andy.
thank
Be
you.
in touch.
Look great.
Motion.
Make a motion to go into an executive session to discuss an employee issue, several employee issues. And a second from trustee Root. Tim is here, executive session. You can start the recording.
Hold on 1 second, please.
Yep.
Let me fix my hair for a minute.
I should turn the camera back on.
Sorry.
Okay.
Imagine if you see, we're all laying down with our heads on our desks.
Nothing.
Sounds stupid. Being that we had a good meeting here, I'll take a motion to adjourn unless anyone has anything they'd like to bring up that we haven't already beat to death.
Did you guys want to
Scott
do-
probably had something to say at the end of the.
I don't think we
meeting.
should take any action because
Okay.
everybody left. We can do that at
Motion to
another time.
adjourn.
Make that motion.
So ordered.
Say, thank you.
Hmm?